Crunchtime with Crispy.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. That opening is amazing.
Oh, thank you. We have a really excellent media team here at Super.
You sure do.
Incredible work, and I'm very excited to chat with you today. You are the second guest ever, which is very cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, first American guest actually. And
really?
So this will be So this will be a fun session. So you have gotten to the final 8 in the Admin of the Year competition.
Have.
How does it feel? What has the grind been like to get to this point?
Well, it's been a little surreal. When I got nominated, I was like, sure, yeah, whatever, I'll do whatever you guys want. My company was like, yeah, go for it. And I said, all right. But we've been having a lot of fun with it. And, I think it's great to just build buzz about what it means to be an admin in HubSpot and Supered, and just kind of that like partnership between the two platforms. And it's been wild, and I'm here for the ride as long as I am here.
Yeah, it's been very cool seeing the content that you've been producing, especially around products. And so one of the things that I see that a lot of admins that are maybe not nominated for Admin of the Year is it's really hard to stay technically fluent with new updates with HubSpot, Super, and stuff like that. So as a pro, what would you recommend for up-and-coming admins to stay up to date with new emerging technology, product updates from HubSpot, from Super, and stuff like that? Like, how do you do it?
So I mean, it's a lot of signing up for every webinar or, live that somebody has, whether I can join it or not. Then I get at least the recording afterwards, and I can watch it on like 2 times speed while I'm powering through something just to kind of absorb the content. With new things from HubSpot, I feel like even though I'm in like the product updates part of the portal, or, keeping up to date on things on like the knowledge base or anything like that, I feel like other things still come through, and I'm like, wait, where did that come from? Like I was prepping for a demo with like a real estate brokerage. And I was like, okay, I'm going to build this whole like custom object in my demo account just to kind of show them what we can do. And then I was digging around, and I was like, when did this listings object come out? Like, I was like, how did I not know that was like a thing, And it's because I think, you get so busy with whatever projects you're currently working on, whether it's supporting a long-term client or like a new build. And then sometimes you get like laser focused on that and features or things you want for that sometimes you miss then some of the other things. And you're like, how did I not know that?
Yeah.
So like I that happens to me all the time still, but I just try to, subscribe to all the newsletters, follow everybody on LinkedIn, so that, when someone I know who's, been a HubSpot partner forever comments on a HubSpotter's post about a new feature, it shows up in my feed, and then I can be like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep an eye out for that.
That's good. Yeah. It sounds like there's more than one way to stay up to date with product updates, and it's a really hard thing to do generally.
It
is
is.
what it sounds like.
It is. And there's a lot of agencies that will do like regular newsletters, and I'm like, wow, I got more out of that other agency than I did, I must have missed the HubSpot. It's we're all in the same game, and I feel like there's no shame in like subscribing to everybody else's content, because it makes you better.
Absolutely. Yeah. We win together. And that's definitely a good thing to focus on, especially for someone who is entering the HubSpot ecosystem as an admin, as a partner, and stuff like that. Is HubSpot's mantra is grow better together. And that's what we do.
Exactly.
So you're in the Admin of the Year competition. You're obviously a very well-respected admin in our community. What does being an admin mean to you? Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what being an admin means, and then there's the reality of what an admin actually does. And so let's hear your perspective on both of those.
I mean, I feel like I'm an architect. I'm tech support. I'm, I can't do this other thing in this other system, but you're smart, so maybe you can help me out.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, it feels like, you know, shoot the questions at me. If I know the answer, I'm going to share it. If I don't, I'll figure it out, or, you know, find a resource for you that can help you get there. You know, I think for me, it's that kind of combination, you know, because I am working at a partner agency, right? Like, part of it is being that admin or that leader for our clients, for our team internally. But then it's also just like making sure that we are making the best recommendations and consulting for, you know, our client instances. You know, I think one of the things I have seen as a partner who has inherited portals from other partners,
Mm.
I think a lot of people will give a client exactly what they want without questioning it. And I think that's a problem, because they don't know the system the way we know the system.
Mm-hmm.
And we may have a better way of doing it. Or, hey, what is actually the business use case for this? It's kind of like those questions you can kind of ask during scope or process mapping or things like that, to really start to like uncover those opportunities. And then we can make recommendations for, okay, when we're getting through this part of your sales process, this is what, you know, based on my experience, I think we need to do. And so here's how we're going to set up your portal in order to make that happen. Because it's really, you have to come from the ground up with building that foundation of that data. Because otherwise, if you're just kind of, you know, throwing stuff in as you go and you're not being strategic about it, you end up with a bloated portal that isn't going to benefit anyone. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree. One of the things that I talked to Rob Jones about recently was, what are the 4 traits of an admin? And you nailed one of them, which is ask the why and establish context. And I think a lot of people don't do that, because what ends up happening is people can explain, like your end customer can explain their pain and the way they experience it. And they
Right.
think they know the solution, when in reality, they're not even close to what it actually is. It's just a matter
Right.
of how, like, this thing is medicine to help me relieve my pain, not the actual solution to whatever the problem is. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, I think you nailed it, in the sense of, like, good admins ask the why and uncover the use
Mhm.
case and define the end state as part of their process. And so, in relation to other, like, what are the advanced skill sets of an admin besides the, you know, context establishment, asking the why, defining the end state, stuff like that? What takes someone from, you know, bare bones admin to the processor, the strategic person, the architect, the engineer?
You know, for me, you know, I'm actually relatively new to HubSpot as an admin,
Mhm.
but, you know, I have 20 years of experience in technology, web design, apps, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that thinking from like the data architecture, look, what are the things that we want to collect? What is that info that we need? And then figuring out what that best way to present that is. I think that's one of the pieces that can really take you into more of that like architect kind of role. Because if you don't have that plan from the start of, here is what that foundational data is going to look like, you can't come back later, because when you start building workflows and you can't build the trigger because you don't have the data there to make the trigger happen, or, you know, the branching, you know, you having that planning and strategy from the start, I think, is what can really make the difference in, like, especially a new build or a new implementation. I think staying abreast of, you know, different you know, apps in the marketplace that are popular or are making a lot of headway, like, you know, Supered, right? Like, of course, we have Supered, but, you know, there's all the other ones that you start to pop up. Maybe it's based on a specific use case, and then you start getting into maybe the reviews on those. So that when, a client or a potential client asks a question of like, hey, can HubSpot do XYZ? Right? You can say, well, not natively, but there's an app in the marketplace that I think can provide that bridge, because usually it's some type of bridge to data through an API.
Yep.
Right. And so just always being open and having your ears and eyes out for those kind of things, I think can really help, especially when you're, again, being more consultative and making those recommendations on, hey, have you guys thought, I heard you said you use Zoom or Teams. Why don't you have your calendars hooked up and using the meeting link function, that's an easy one. And so just getting in as deep as you can. And especially if you or your agency are really specializing in Sales Hub or Marketing Hub, like go as deep as you can and wide in those hubs so that you can understand everything. Um, if that's really your bread and butter, because I know some agencies really focus more on the marketing automation side, while others are focused more on RevOps and Sales Hub and all of that. And so, learn as much as you can, but you also have to be aware of the other hubs, right? Like it's so that when there's that opportunity for, adding in Service Hub, for a basic ticketing system or a knowledge base or something like that, make sure that you know a little bit about everything and then go deep in like whatever area you really want to specialize in.
Yeah, you're touching on something that I think a lot of legacy admins, not the modern day admin, do not do well, which is technological fluency across platforms. Because what ends up happening is you do one of two things. One is of a product that can solve the problem and achieve the solution that you want to fulfill, and that requires you staying up to date with HubSpot product updates, new things that are emerging, AI, all that kind of stuff. Number two is you don't know about those products. You try to build things and like skeleton it together with what you have in the shop, which is bad because it means it's not scalable. So the modern day admin, from what it sounds like, needs to be up to date with all of the emerging things that are coming in the ecosystem, which is very heavily platform focused. And so segue into another thing that Rob Jones and I talked about recently, which was the admin operates at the apex of people, platform, and process. So we talked a lot about platforms. What describe your involvement or I guess process in general, the involvement of decision making and definition of process in your life as an admin?
I think one of the things that sets us apart and that I really enjoy doing is understanding that like 360 view of what is needed. So understanding what like the C-suite or the owners or the, top level execs want to see, they don't need to get in the weeds about this crazy workflow you're building. Like they don't care. They don't need that. They just need to know that you're going to do the end product or the end data reports that they're going to get is what they need. But I think it's also important to make sure that you're also talking with like the people who are the boots on the ground, the people who are going to be in there using the system from day to day, because if you don't make it with them in mind, you're not going to have adoption, no matter what other enablement tools you're using. It isn't built with their approach in mind. It's not going to be successful and have full adoption. Now, that's not to say like you give everyone their own pipeline so that they can have their own stages and work through their process, but like making sure you're getting all of the different pieces to pull together, I think is a really important piece, because then you can make those connections between what the people who are going to be in there day in and day out need, maybe the middle management who are going to be doing sales coaching or things like that, but then the reports and the data that the top level people need.
Yep. and you nailed it. One of the tenets of Admin Plus is designing for the end user. Many partners, in my experience, especially ones that are early stage that have not quite gotten the experience that they need just yet in the ecosystem, think that their KPI is onboard HubSpot, right? And that's how I know that I did something correctly. That is
Right.
wrong, right? Your KPI is, do the end users at your customer use the thing that you've designed to enable them to become better? And so, yeah, you nailed it. Design for the end user is absolutely like the right thing to be thinking about. When it comes to how we talked a lot about platforms, process, things like that. Let's say you had a magic one scenario where you have a brand new company starting from scratch. You have $1 billion to spend, and you have the Mount Rushmore of technology. What would you choose as the four faces?
Oh boy. Let's see. Well, I mean, you gotta have HubSpot, right? For the CRM, that can encompass a lot of other parts of the tech stack. I think enablement like Supered, it really can make a difference with what you can do with like the process rules. I'm really excited about these process boards, by the way, and how that's gonna be something that we can really adopt. I think for that ongoing enablement and training, that's really key. And it works, with more than just HubSpot, which I think opens up a lot of opportunities for the end client, seeing how they could use this in other aspects of their business and the way they work with their employees. I think you need a strong CMS. I'm partial to WordPress just because I've, worked in WordPress for a very long time on and off. And there's so many different connections you can make, with the HubSpot plugin and other really dynamic tools to help you pull in all of that stuff from that standpoint. And then I think, some type of like tool that you're going to use for lead gen or like prospecting. So whether that's, Apollo or Clay or something like that, combined with Sales Navigator on LinkedIn, because that's going to help you get some of that data that maybe you can't get on your own. And so you got to, pay a little bit for it, but those kind of tools can really help you clean up, an email list or a prospect list. And that can really then help things moving forward and keep your data clean in HubSpot too, if you're regularly doing that kind of data clean.
Yeah, that is a solid tech stack. So I heard HubSpot, Supered, WordPress, Clay, or Apollo, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, mine is almost the same. I have Slack included in mine because I think Slack is super functional. It's interesting that you said the CMS as well. I've asked this question to a lot of people, and you are the first person to say CMS, which shows the breadth of like your expertise in how you should think about going to market. WordPress over HubSpot as a CMS. Is that the spicy opinion?
Well, that is probably, again, just because of my almost 2 decades of experience in WordPress, working in freelance or at an agency that developed on WordPress. I've, worked in the HubSpot CMS, and I think, it's great as well, but I've just had way more experience in WordPress. And so I'm way more in tune with what is needed for building and the page builders and all of that.
Interesting. It's a spicy Supered opinion.
Yeah.
I like it. I also believe that the HubSpot CMS has some work to do. WordPress is, it's been king for a while.
Yeah, and with all of the different developers and open source and stuff, I think, there comes a lot of risk then with vulnerabilities because of the open source, but that's why it's important to stay on top of the updates as often as you can.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would love to say Slack, but I have clients, internally we use Slack. I have a couple of clients who use Slack. I have some that use Teams. I have some that use Google Chat. And so I just need everybody to be on one platform so that I'm not opening up like 12 different chats every
Yeah.
day, all of my screens. That's what I would love to see. So if
Yeah.
someone can develop something that sucks them all in, and I can just from one portal be in everything, I would love that.
I agree with you. Yeah, the ultimate collaboration platform. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Maybe was that what Google Wave was supposed to be? Like 15 years ago or something like
I don't
that.
know. Yeah, it's a billion-dollar idea right there. If someone can
Yeah.
translate all those things together, yeah, it's wild. So you are in the Elite Eight, and you are working to get to the Final Four. I am looking at your scores right now. I won't say how many votes you have in the Elite Eight right now. What's your strategy to get to the Final Four? Let's hear. Any special moves in the pocket?
Well, I've been working on, getting some more content to put out there to keep pushing it. I'm really going as far as I can. So, posting work stuff on personal social networks that when I normally wouldn't do that. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I need to. The person I'm up against this round asked if I wanted to do a live head to head with her and Rob this morning, and I was like, sure, anything, I'll do it, whatever. And they asked if I had seen the one they had done last week, and I was like, no, I have no idea what I'm getting myself into today. I'm coming in here completely blind. Let's just go. I'm pretty good at rolling with the punches on that. And so, just working then with our team at the middle six to, have them, do pushes to all of our clients and contacts. And I did like a tip that someone had put, like, I think it was in the 32 chat that you had, where they set up a super update that opens whenever any of the clients. And so I've done that. And I forget about it. And then when the cookie expires, then it pops back up. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. I got to go update that so that everybody like gets that kind of notification, and just trying to, get it as far and wide as I can, and, ride the train as far as I can go. And because I saw the people in the Elite Eight, there's a lot of votes from the previous round. And I was a little taken aback. I was like, oh boy, we got some work to do, guys.
Yeah, there is lots of votes coming in for this round. This round, we have already surpassed 1,000, and it's been 2 days. Which is crazy. Yeah. So
that's awesome, though.
You are amongst a competitive group of people, certainly. And I'll say
it.
you're doing very well in the round of 8. I'll say that. And so
well, thank you.
Keep it up. Voting closes Friday. Are you attending Inbound this year?
Yes, I am.
Amazing. What are you most excited for? What are you looking to achieve? All that kind of good stuff.
Well, this is going to be my first Inbound. So I'm excited to just kind of take it all in and learn as much as I can that I can then take back to my colleagues and my clients, and really just, make those connections with, whether it's HubSpot, like the GSs, right? Like that I've worked on a deal with, or that I want, I'm going after a client, a potential lead with them on. Just to, put that face to the name. I think that can make a really big difference in building those relationships. And of course, I'm looking forward to the super after party.
It is the event to be at Inbound. Yeah. It's I'm very excited for it. This will be my 6th or 5th Inbound. I'm losing track nowadays, but it's gonna be very cool. This will be my first experience on the app partner side, and so it'll be very nice to see all of the partners that'll be in attendance, our customers, new people that I haven't even met before. And so with that, Amy, are you going to be winning Admin of the Year?
I think I am. I mean, I hadn't done as much content in the last 2 weeks as some of the others in there. But as I said this morning, I was too busy closing a really, really big deal, like a big
Good reason.
12-month contract. And, that I was like, this is all HubSpot. So I'm in the weeds right now
I love
on my
it.
HubSpot stuff. And so, you know what, if I can't, get as much of content out there, it's because I'm doing the actual work, because I don't have time to do all of the content that other people have.
That's the life of an admin right there to a T.
Exactly.
The balance between content and delivery. It's tough.
Yep.
Eternal struggle. Well, thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
Yeah, this was super fun. I am looking forward to seeing you at Inbound. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
seeing how you progress through the Elite Eight. And can we find you on LinkedIn? What can we expect from as far as content goes here in the near future? Any Easter eggs you can give us?
Well, we are working on some content with a belt. We want, because I said from the start, I want a belt as part of this.
Love
And you
it.
guys didn't originally have a belt as a win. So I feel like I gave you that idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I'm not
never
going to
know.
be baby, but
There are fun things we are giving out to this round and beyond. So with that, Amy, thank you very much. And we'll see you at
thank
Inbound.
you. Appreciate it.
Crunch time with crispy.